Alright guys, if you have one of these tanks like myself, you're probably feeling fairly frustrated because the tank looks like it's in mint condition, but because there's an expiry date on it, no one will fill it for you anymore. So I came across this situation this spring, my tank's perfectly fine, it works great, but it's expired, they won't fill it. And there's a few things you can do with them. You can bring them back to like a recycling center; they'll take them. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to do something a little different with this. I'm going to make a lawn ornament. So I saw this on, I think it was Pinterest where I actually first saw it. But basically, what we're going to do is give this tank a light sanding, and then paint it and put it in the yard. So the idea that I had, anyways, was to make a Lego head. These actually look very similar to a Lego, like those yellow Lego heads. So I think I'm going to try that. It's getting fall now, though. So another idea that I had was you could also make this a pumpkin and put it in your front yard. Just paint it orange, maybe some black stripes to make it look like a pumpkin. But for myself, I think the Lego head's going to be best just because I really like the shape of these tanks for that idea, and we'll just put it by the trees in the backyard. And I think it'll be kind of like a cool little project versus just letting one of these tanks go to waste. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is take the valve stem out. Now, make sure the tank is 100% bled out before you do this. If there's any gas in there, it's going to come out. This tank I know is 100% drained, but even still, I'm going to slowly back this valve out just in case. The way these work is if you crack it open, it's not going to bleed the gas out. You have to have the regulator plugged in. So there could possibly be gas. So I'm just going to take this out. This is the most dangerous part. If you don't want to do that, which I am not recommending that you do this, but if you don't, you can just paint just right over the tank and it'll be just fine, but without sanding it, the paint might not adhere to it as much. There's no doubt in my mind this tank's perfectly fine, but with the rules, you just can't refill them anymore. Okay, so I've just been taking the valve off with the thumb wrench there. If you can hear, there is gas left in here, so I'm just going to let that bleed out. And needless to say, if you're taking the valve off, do this in a well-ventilated area. Okay guys, even though this tank didn't have enough pressure to light the barbecue, there's still a fair bit of gas in it. So I just let that slowly bleed off. You can still see, even with the valve completely off, gas is still coming out of there slowly. So I'm going to fill this with water now. Never ever cut into a propane tank or anything like that with a zip cut or Sawzall without filling it with water first, because there's all these vapors and they will at night. Okay, so I got our propane bottle full of water here now. See, it's right full, so tomorrow, it's getting late now, I'll just give this a rough sand, and then we'll get it primed and painted, the initial base color, and I'll let that dry for about a day, and then we'll get our masking tape and start getting the facial features on. Alright, so I got all this sanded off. It's roughed up. It's got it all finished to it now, so the primer should stick rather well. And I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way to the top, then I'll flip it around after it's dry and paint the top. Alright, it's been a minute and I could not find the stencil or the decals that I wanted for this project, so I reverted back to the good old make your own. So what we'll do, just get this centered and pretty good idea where I want it. And then we'll just do it old school and paint it. And red is very purple. So as you can tell, this looks good from far, but it's far from good. So after this dries, we'll go back with a fine brush and go around the eyes to make them nice, smooth, round circles. And same with the mouth. It kind of looks terrible right now, but it will look better once we clean that up. So just wait a minute and we will touch those circles up. There, that's a little better. Alright, now in the old Lego days, this is all that there was for a face, but I'm going to just put the whites of his eyes in, just because I like that look better. So most of the ones with the white dots in the eye are kind of up in the top point here. Now those ones usually have eyebrows as well, but we're just going to do the eyes. Alright, so we got the face painted on there now. Just going to put a little clear coat on. Okay, so I've put about 3 or 4 coats of clear coat on. The only other thing I have done as well, I just screwed the original cap back in. You can just do it hand tight, you don't need to crank it on. I only did that to keep the water out, so water won't get in here and expand in the winter and break the tank. So now it's time to put it in the yard.